Good afternoon, dear viewers. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. It's time for another death battle reaction. And this one, oh boy, it's going to be a doozy. It's Courage the Cowardly Dog versus Scooby-Doo from their respective franchises. It's very rare that we get a matchup featuring the titular characters of the show. So, the characters being Courage and Scooby-Doo. Of course, always check out the original content before you ever check anything out of mine. Like, share, subscribe, do that great stuff with Death Ballad, and then if you wouldn't mind doing that with my content, that would mean a lot to me. As for this fight, I'm going into this rooting for Courage. I have a lot more room in my heart for Courage the Cowardly Dog. I think there's a lot more to pull from in terms of Scooby-Doo related content, and I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow took a win in this category, but Courage has definitely put up with a lot more dark and otherworldly apparitions and even other dogs, far tougher than Scooby-Doo, and opponents far more devious, I think, than Scooby-Doo. Scooby really needs to work with a gang or with a group in order to prevail, whereas Courage, he is usually the one getting Eustace and Muriel, who are his owners, out of tough situations or resolving the conflict. And Courage has been beaten, burned, electrocuted, swamped, all sorts of things, and I doubt Scooby-Doo has been put through the same rigors, trials, tribulations, so that's why I think Courage has many advantages going into this fight. But I did have a dream of the other night where, like, somehow, some way, Scooby pulled off the win here. And I didn't see why or how it happened. I just know that it did. And I was just like, wait, how? But, you know, Death Ballad does like to throw its curveballs and its twists at its viewers. So that is always the possibility. And before I get started on this, I've been thinking of doing some what if sort of content. Like, what if a character from one franchise interacted with another character from another franchise? And so far, I've been mostly working on sort of horror-themed stuff, and one of them is, what if Michael Myers invaded the town of Mayberry? So it'd be Halloween crossing over with the Andy Griffith Show. I think that's a funny idea to see how that would play out, and I would just keep it straight-faced and tell this as a true crime sort of thing. And okay, now that I've gotten that, if that sounds like something of interest, please let me know. And I've been working on it. And with that out of the way now, let's see how this fight goes. And let us play.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Shady Rays. Scooby-Doo, the miraculous mutt from Mystery Incorporated.
Courage, the cowardly dog straight out of nowhere.
Canis familiaris, man's best friend.
Yep.
Dog. No animal companion has stood by humanity's side as long or as loyally.
Even
That's right.
Especially these two yellow-bellied, lily-livered scaredy cats.
I remember that.
Dogs. He's Wes and I'm Boomstick.
I still need to see the crossover.
Weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
I saw the
Throughout
preview.
the ages, countless philosophers have posited the same question time and time again.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Where are you?
Pretty much everywhere, from cartoons to comics.
Yup.
Board games, from live
Like I said, there have been so many iterations of this character.
Of all time, he's the greatest Dane since Hamlet.
But his monumental presence in popular culture belies his humble origins. Born to Momsy and Dada-Doo in Doosville, USA.
I thought it was
Doosville ain't
Coolsville.
what it used to be ever since they moved all those
Same birthday as Bigfoot.
The young Scoobert was adopted by the Rogers family and their prodigal gluttonous son, Norville, better known by his friends as
Shaggy.
Those friends being Velma Dinkley, Daphne Blake, Fred Jones, and sometimes...
With their powers combined,
Oh, come on.
Mystery Incorporated.
He isn't that bad. He wasn't meant to be a bad character.
United States in a cushed-up Volkswagen, foiling seemingly paranormal crimes and unmasking corrupt authority figures.
All of whom definitely would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those meddling kids and their dog.
Scooby is indispensable in Mystery Inc. investigations. Great Danes were bred by 17th century German nobility to hunt bear, boar, and deer.
I saw this part.
Which means he's a master tracker. Scooby's super sniffer nose can root out the bad guys no matter how well hidden.
They were called Hammerhunda, or chamber dogs, because they stay in their prince's chambers and protect them from assassins. Such brave, fearless doggos.
Too bad for Shaggy and the gang, the apple didn't just fall far from the tree. It defied the laws of Newtonian physics and rocketed into space at the speed of light. Because Scooby
Is a coward.
Absolute coward.
He's terrified of his own shadow and constantly anxious about everything imaginable. And his only motivation is his delicious Scooby snacks.
That or food of any
It's
sort.
baffling that he's actually kind of a badass.
Scooby's a master of the dupe, a classic technique of cartoon tricksters.
Sometimes called the power of positive assertion.
Yeah.
Scooby flexes his mastery of disguise to fool would-be attackers, like seducing zombies as a belly dancer, or tricking a jester into entering an existential crisis.
This man was so thoroughly convinced to rethink his entire life, he went all the way home and got into bed before realizing he'd been fooled.
Obviously, these disguises shouldn't work at all, but Scooby's just so supernaturally talented, they just do. See, this is a perfect example. No one in their right mind would think that that's anyone but Boomstick in an awful wig and makeup.
That's my mom.
I'm so sorry, ma'am. If those disguises sound completely impossible, that's because they are. You might have thought of the Scooby-Doo series as being pretty grounded with all its men and masks.
No.
But then one day, the mask did not come off.
Alright,
That's right. It's Terror Time again.
I've seen that.
monsters started being real, and Scooby became just as bonkers to match. Like, remember those Scooby snacks? They started to give him a physical boost in strength, kind of like Popeye's spinach.
That's nothing. Shaggy's brilliant uncle, Albert Shackleford, upgraded those snacks with nanite technology, giving them a variety of different effects. Everything from invisibility, robotic armor, force fields, super intelligence. and-
where the hell did this come from?
Dog, and we're just getting started. He can stretch and squash his body any way he likes, even duplicating himself or regenerating from damage.
Like being chopped into pieces, crumbling into dust, or just blowing up.
His soul was literally scared out of his body, and both his body and soul kept going at the same time. That doesn't make sense.
He can appear in multiple places at once, ignore the laws of gravity, rewind time with his time scepter or super speed, draw things into existence, and mess with the plot of his own show.
Things getting a little too spooky for him? He'll just cut to commercial break.
He's also got weapons like the Super Spooker 3000, a gun that instills fear into the hearts of man.
And no, not like an actual gun. It literally shoots fear.
Or the Chest of Demons, an ark containing 13 monstrous ghosts.
Ghosts!
Should you be trapped within its grasp, your body and soul will be imprisoned in everlasting torment in this heretofore undiscovered 10th circle of hell.
Neat. Scooby-Doo has dodged
That's-
laser beams and electromagnetic waves, survived being at the epicenter of an explosion that blew up time, and successfully performed the Zabrinsky Triangle with Shaggy and Maddie Ziegler.
The Zabrinsky Triangle is a dance so unbelievably dangerous that even imperfect executions have caused widespread destruction.
When performed perfectly, it was so beautiful it literally lit up the entire universe and blew up the enormous snow globe containing it. It makes sense if you watch the show. Actually, no, it doesn't.
Taking this literally, we can measure the volume of the broken glass compared to the size of our entire cosmos within it. In order to shatter what is essentially an enormous glass superstructure, each dancer would have to be generating enough energy to destroy our universe 11 quintillion times over.
That's right. Maddie Ziegler is a universe buster.
With Scooby-Doo as their nigh omnipotent mascot, Mystery Incorporated has saved the world from alien invasions, wielded the power of a yellow lantern ring, and was even made a member of the Mystery Analysts of Gotham by by Batman himself.
Yes, Batman, the world's greatest detective.
I remember those.
Scooby's skills.
Even facing down and defeating the evil entity, an eldritch dark god, and surviving its death, which rewrote all of reality. Yeah, you know, the talking dog that crossed over with the Harlem Globetrotters and Don Knotts defeated Satan. No biggie.
So, where is Scooby-Doo? He's solving mysteries and saving the world with his found family.
Also, he's an alien.
Wait, what? Interrupt this program to bring you Courage, the Cowardly Dog Show, starring Courage, the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, no ad.
Abandoned as a pup, he was found by Muriel, who lived
So
in
I was going to
nowhere
talk
with her
about that,
husband,
but
Eustace Bagge.
that's a lot more stuff than I realized, but
Nowhere.
It's up to Courage to save his new home.
Stupid Wiz, you made me look bad. Ooga booga booga!
You're breathing on me. Get away.
Sorry, but who wouldn't be excited for one of animation's mightiest mutts?
Courage is an adorable pink beagle with a heart of gold and an undying love for his doting Scottish mistress.
Beagles
Yep.
are hare hunters with intense separation anxiety, excellent senses of smell, and a set of lungs that'll knock your socks off. All of which fits Courage to a T,
Yep.
especially the howling part.
To be fair, Courage has a lot to howl about. Nowhere USA is a magnet for interdimensional weirdness, attracting some of the
God, what
strangest
hasn't
freaks
Courage
in the
gone
world.
through?
Like master criminals, cats, and LaQuack, mattress demons, mummies, weremoles, mad scientists, gods and goddesses, aliens, robots, alien robots, this chicken, the king of flan, and of course, the United States government.
And poor Courage is absolutely terrified of all of it. But his devotion to Muriel means he'll always step up and fight the good fight.
Good thing he's kind of a genius. He's a brilliant engineer capable of whipping up the most devious of traps almost instantly. And he's got an unending supply of tools at his disposal.
Everything from his trusty mallet to grappling hooks, ray guns, flamethrowers, chainsaws, bombs, beagle-sized cannons, yo-yos, a mind control helmet, vampire hunting gear, and the God Bow.
yep.
An ancient artifact that is completely irresistible.
Until
and
Courage
full of
tied a knot
power,
in his
forcing them to
tongue, and
live
he's like, "Yeah, I'm
till
not going
they
for this."
die.
Except for Courage, of course. I guess if you have the willpower to stare down a gigantic purple foot mobster, you can resist even the most delicious of treats.
And he can pull all of this stuff out of his ass anytime he wants. He always has exactly what he needs.
All thanks to his computer named
Computer.
A
You
sentient desktop
twit.
which knows almost anything and everything, even if he has a bit of an attitude about it.
Which means he's always prepared, especially when he can shapeshift his body into literally anything he can think of.
From inanimate objects to monsters to different animation mediums entirely. Courage usually uses this as a form of charades to communicate with others.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. These aren't just visual animation gags. His body is actually shapeshifting.
Courage's body is a canvas upon which his imagination runs wild. He can stretch to crazy lengths, shrink to microscopic sizes, turn invisible, appear anywhere he wants, or duplicate himself.
He's also effectively immune to damage. Oh, he still feels pain, but apparently
Yeah.
his sheer terror overrides it.
Like the times he tore himself in half or turned himself fully inside out. The dude somehow vaporized his entire body completely without even ash remaining, and he just popped back good as new.
Classic cartoon shenanigans, but technically anatomically correct. Until it isn't. Courage can create objects from his imagination and often breaks the fourth wall, directly addressing the audience.
Now, you would think being an impossible-to-kill force of nature would boost his confidence a bit, but isn't that what anxiety does to you? It undermines your sense of self-worth and magnifies
Yeah.
the problems around you.
Sure, but Courage is also fighting gods just as powerful as himself. Like this enormous alien which could spike meteors so hard it spun the Earth 1,000 years into the future. That's crazy.
Then Courage got shot out of a cannon that punched him through the moon, only to get slapped by that same alien and sent crashing back to the planet. And he was fine.
Courage is strong enough to physically patch up holes in the ozone layer, hold stars in his hands, and scream so loud he shattered the sun.
A scream like that would be like getting hit with over 100 septillion hydrogen bombs all at once, which is, you know, a lot.
And keep in mind, the sound waves of his scream would have had to travel through the near vacuum of space. Basically a complete scientific impossibility.
Next time you replace my beers in the fridge with LaCroix, I'm getting my boy Jack Spaniels to blow up the sun.
That is one of the darkest episodes.
That's not all. One time he operated a Peloton controlling a UFO and pedaled it fast enough to fly past Saturn, enter hyperspace, and cross the Milky Way galaxy.
Though Courage's greatest challenge came from inside his very home. A monster who tortures his poor pooch every single day.
Yeah.
Depraved, psychotic motherfucker. The true
Eustace.
Prince of Darkness. The greatest villain in cartoon history. Eustace.
He even collected all of Courage's greatest foes like a Legion of Doom, all to mercilessly beat Courage to a pulp in a game of dodgeball.
It gives all rednecks
God.
a bad name, Wiz. I want to end him low.
Okay, well, Courage's accumulated PTSD always held him back until he met a kindred spirit, another cowardly monster hunting hound, Scooby-Doo.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Together,
They've met
they
several
discovered
times.
The source of Nowhere's weirdness, a dark matter meteor that controlled reality itself.
Originally, the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs. Its dark matter can rewrite the laws of physics, control minds, and turn Courage into a giant kaiju.
Taking the meteor for himself, Courage finally faced his fears, defeating this cicada queen goddess thing and saving his family once and for all. Yes, even Eustace.
Shit!
So let that be a lesson to any who would encroach upon the Bag's humble farm. It has a protector.
He may be small, and he may be scared, but standing up to our fears is what makes us brave in the first place. That's why his name
Is Courage.
This episode of Death
In
Note
terms
is sponsored
of
by Shady Ridge.
power scaling, it does seem like Scooby might have something in terms of an advantage with the whole dance thing, but he was part of a three-person or one-person or one dog two-person dance to pull that off, and Courage basically pulls everything off by himself. I think Courage is way more durable than Scooby. Like they said, he basically survived complete annihilation. But I don't know if that means his soul. But I don't think that would do anything. And plus, I think Courage has a lot more willpower at his disposal than Scooby does. Scooby is usually more motivated by, food, or in this case, Scooby snacks. And with all those superpowered Scooby snacks, I think Courage might be able to figure something out in order to beat him. Okay, I'm still rooting Courage. Come on, Courage. God, that's God. I mean, I don't want to see either of them die. That's the part I saw. Oh god, I knew this was going to happen.
There's one more thing.
He's not falling for it.
How to defeat a great Dane with a speech impediment, eh?
You twit.
All dogs love their bones, don't they? This could be bad. My name isn't Chad James. It's not.
Come on, Courage.
Stupid dogs. What's that? Well, cut it out. Wait, what? Who won?
It was a tie.
To avoid on-screen dog murder, wasn't one of them supposed to die?
Not since the Great North Central Singularity event of 2015 have we had a result like this. It can't end like this, right?
Even with Courage's insane cosmic feats, you'd think the Zabrinsky Triangle would be enough to seal the deal. But both pooches could regenerate from basically any kind of physical damage.
Both
I'm
were
happy with
incredibly
this.
smart in different ways. Scooby
I'm
was
happy.
more of a trickster with his dupes, while Courage was a scheming genius. Computer could have given Courage the edge, if not for their canon crossover, where it failed to have solid information on Scooby in the game.
So I guess it came down to their unique abilities. And for 90% of their arsenals, they were evenly matched. Transmutation, mind control, you get it. They're tunes with basically anything, except for the Chest of Demons and the Dark Matter Meteor.
Sure, the chest could theoretically always trap Courage, but he'd always be able to escape and destroy it with the Dark Matter Meteor.
But Scooby could repair the damage by reversing time and then trap him again.
And then Courage would break out again. You know where this is going.
Ultimately, this battle between man's best friends would never end.
But this is a death battle. Somebody has to die.
Someone did, Wiz.
Yep.
Yeah, someone did.
Didn't they tell you that you're kind of scary sometimes?
I don't like dog killers.
Scooby and
Me
Courage
neither.
were
Nobody
incredibly
does.
tough opponents that could go blow for blow for blow. They were smart, powerful, and incredibly broken.
Doggone it, Wiz. I guess you could say Eustace had one hell of a rough day. I shih tzu not. Oh, ooh, those were awful.
Stop. This battle is a draw.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Ben, voice of
I
Wiz.
love
Thank you so
that.
much for watching. We are about to announce the next episode.
I love that
Before we
one.
do that, if you're not a Death Battle member yet, click that join button below. See what you're missing.
Next time. The Doctor versus Morty. Or Rick. Rick versus the Doctor. But I've never watched Rick and Morty, to be honest. I know of it, and I know a little bit more about Doctor Who. But this fight, I loved it. I loved it. I'm so happy with the ending. And Eustace. Didn't see it coming, but I loved it. I loved this matchup so much. I loved the play, or the fight. I loved their interactions. It was just classic for both of them. And I just loved it. I mean, I hope you had a great time with this, dear viewers. I know I did. I'm going to be rewatching this over and over again because I just thought this was just wonderful. Simply just a wonderful episode. Please take care of yourselves, dear viewers. Have a wonderful rest of your day and rewatch this one with me.